to get used to this. We're going to have this plane. We'll fix it up. It'll be just fine. So time goes by, and they raise it. They bring it down another couple of hundred. They bring it down another couple, and then all of a sudden it started dropping like a rock. And we agreed to 3.95. Somebody said, well, it must be a totally different plane. Nope. In fact, I actually had one generator added. It's not a big deal. One generator added. And they said to me, then Boeing came to me, so it's 3.9 as opposed to 5.7. Now, that took about 2 months, 3 months. But isn't it really nice, right? The same exact plane, except with a different paint job. Our plane is going to be as beautiful as that looks, Jackie O. Our plane is going to be red, white, and blue. Doesn't that make sense? Red, white. And then they came to me, and the general came to me. The general came to me, and he said, sir, I know the way you like everything to be perfect. And, sir, instead of coming down, see the big stairway on the left? You're really up there. When you're at that stairway, you're like on a 3-story building, right? And, sir, if it's rainy or bad weather or it's blowing, and I'm thinking about my hair, right? Oh, sometimes, by the time I get down, the big one, the little one is a different deal, but the big one, which we use 95%, by the time I come down that big stairway, sometimes I am wiped out. You know, the wind is blowing. I said, is there any wind outside? Yes, sir, 50 miles an hour. That's good. The stairs are shaking. I'm shaking the whole thing. By the time I get into the car, I end up running the last. By the time I get into that car, I'm wiped out, okay? I got to say. Does anybody have a mirror? So the general said, sir, we can build a new stairway under the plane, sir. It's a spiral stairway. I said, wow, that's a great idea. You'd be totally protected, sir. I said, fantastic. How much? 50. I said, wow, 50. That's a great deal. I'll take it. I said, I'll take it. I said, by the way, so for $50,000, I can build. No, sir, $50 million. I said, I don't want this stairway for $50 million. I tell you this because you people understand business. No, he said, we can build it for 50. I thought he meant $50,000. That's a lot of money for a stairway. No, we can do it for $50 million. So if you don't mind, I decided, let my hair get messed up, right? So that's the story. That's a long story on the beautiful Air Force One. So we have it coming in, and can you imagine after all that? I better win this damn contest. Can you imagine if I saw Sleepy Joe? He wouldn't even know it's a different plane. He'd get on, oh, this is very nice. Where am I? Where am I? You're an Air Force One. Oh, I didn't know that. This is very nice. How old is this plane, he'd say. I'd say, brand new, sir. It's brand new, just came. If I see that gorgeous, you have to see the striping. It's incredible. There'll be nothing like it. And I don't want to see it. He won't appreciate it. He won't appreciate it because he won't understand it. But anyway, so that's a story that I tell. I could tell 100 stories like that. It's all the same. The waste, it's all the same. And it was all coming together, and then we had to spend $3 trillion on the plague. Can you believe it? With all of that, peanuts we're talking, we had to spend, and we signed a trade deal with China, which was so great, but the ink wasn't dry when we got hit by the China plague. And we'll never forget it. We'll never forget it. You watch. Sleepy Joe Biden doesn't care about New Hampshire. I saw that. He left this state before the primary was even over. He abandoned you, you know. He likes to say Pennsylvania, well, he left them too when he was 9 years old, you know. And based on the polls, I'm seeing the people of Pennsylvania understand that very much. And as I said at the very beginning, a lot of strange things. You know, we're way up in Florida. We're doing fantastic in Iowa, fantastic in North Carolina. We think really good in Pennsylvania. We're doing great in the great state of Texas. And these aren't polls. These are people now. You know, now you don't need polls so much. These are people. We're doing great all over. Georgia's looking very good. We're doing great all over. This could be a very interesting evening on November 3rd. Now, you know, the biggest risk we have are the fake ballots. To me, They send millions of ballots all over the country. They found some in a garbage can, military ballots. The name Trump was written in by the military, and they found them in a garbage can. Thousands and thousands, 500,000 incorrect applications in Virginia. Thousands and thousands of things. I say the biggest risk we have are the fake ballots. You know, I voted yesterday in Florida, and I voted in person, because I like to vote in person. Call me old-fashioned, but a lot of our people want to vote in person. They want to vote. So I went to Florida. Sir, do you have identification? They said that. And they didn't mean to be rude. They want to go through like they would. I took out a passport. I gave them a passport. I took an ID. Wouldn't it be nice to have voter ID, by the way? So the woman was great, very smart, and I gave her the passport. I gave her the ID. She said, sir, I think you might be President Trump. Okay, so I qualified. And then I sat. They gave me the voting thing, slips, very computerized, very good. I went through every one. I said, sir, is this it? Yes. Good. And then I signed my name on something else. Sir, you can go to the booth, and please, here's a pad. You can keep it secret. I said, I don't want to keep it secret. I voted for Donald Trump. I don't want to keep it secret. Now, if I voted for Sleepy Joe, that would be a story, right? That I would want to keep secret. So anyway, no, but I went in. People were fantastic, and I went in, really professional people, great people. I went in, I took it out of the folder. I mean, they wanted me to put it in a folder just to walk it 20 feet to a machine. I took it out, I put it in that, I put it in again 2 pages, certain things they had in, a lot of different races, the presidency and other races, good races, congressperson, good races, put them in. And I said, wow, there was no cheating. There was no way you could cheat. There was no way anything could go wrong. It was like a perfect deal. Now they send, think of that. So that's one way. The other way, they send millions of ballots. We don't know who's sending them. We don't know where they're going. We don't know who's bringing them back. We don't know who signed them. In Nevada, they want to have a thing where you don't have to have any verification of the signature. It is so terrible. And you know who knows it more than us? The Democrats. All Democrat-run states are the ones that are the problem. And they know it, and they say, he's against our freedom. He's against our freedom. No, no. I want to have a real election. I don't want to have millions of votes sent to millions of different people. And I call them unsolicited. I say solicited is good. That's where you write in, you want, they send it to you, et cetera, which still is not as good as being there. But it's pretty good. But when you have unsolicited, meaning you don't want them, you know, they call them universal. I said, that name doesn't make sense. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. They call it different names. I came up with a name. They have millions of unsolicited ballots being sent all over, and it's no good. It's no good. And there's tremendous, every day you pick up the newspaper and you read about, the only good thing is we have people watching them like crazy, both law enforcement and yourselves and everybody. But in Philadelphia, which is notorious for what goes on, we want to have poll watchers. They won't let us have poll watchers. So we're in court over poll watchers. Why won't they let you have a poll watcher? What's wrong? Think of it. What's wrong? Philadelphia has been unbelievable. When a candidate, very wonderful candidate, happened to lose very badly, ran a number of years ago, a man named Mitt Romney. Did anybody ever hear of Mitt Romney? He did so badly in Philadelphia, almost nobody voted for him. Now, you know that's not so, but they gave almost no votes for him, almost nothing. And you know that's not so, and it's not right. And we want poll watchers in Philadelphia, and they won't let us have them, so we're in court. But think of it, when they won't let you have a poll watcher, what's that all about? What's that all about? So we're watching it very closely, but I was really impressed yesterday in Florida because there was no way there could be any cheating. There was no way. These people were great. The system is great. And there was no way you're voting twice, you're voting 20 times, or you're not voting at all. It was a beautiful thing to see. But the ballots are not that way. The ballots get handled by many, many people by the time they even get there. And it shouldn't be allowed. And the Democrats know it's a hoax, and they know, and it's going to cause problems. Then we have a ruling from a court, I won't say which court, a ruling that the ballots can go beyond November 3rd, and then they can take time to, in the state of Pennsylvania, which we love, which we think we're going to win. I love Pennsylvania. I won it the last time against Crooked Hillary, right? It was the first time in a long time that somebody won. And we have a situation where they have their ballots, and they have a long time to count the ballots. A lot of bad things will happen during that period of time. Terrible things will happen, crooked, dishonest things. But that means that Pennsylvania, a major state, an important state, very important to me. I'm there all the time. I went to school there. Pennsylvania. So if we don't know the result on November 3rd, that means, unlike has always been where you generally find out the election that night or soon, we could be going on forever with this. It's the craziest thing, and it's frankly, it's a crazy ruling, and we shouldn't let it happen. We shouldn't let it happen. I think that's my biggest fear, my biggest risk for this election is the unsolicited, the millions of unsolicited ballots they're sending out. In California, they're sending millions and millions and millions of ballots. People are getting ballots that don't want them. People are getting ballots that don't even know why they're getting them. It's a terrible thing. Sleepy Joe Biden works for big tech and big donors. And, you know, I'll tell you, when you watch what's happened, how he's being protected, because you see what's going on, he is a corrupt politician. And one of the reasons, and I would say the primary reason he's put the lid on again, is because he can't answer the questions. No, he can't answer these questions. He goes to China, the family makes a fortune. He goes to Ukraine, his son gets put on a board for $183,000 a month. How about Russia? Russia, the wife of the mayor of Moscow, pays him $3.5 million for the son, and then he has stuff that he has to give his father, 10%. Then he has another one where it's 50%. What the hell is going on? Terrible. And then the media refuses to write it. They refuse, except for the New York Post, by the way, whose stock has gone way up. I have a lot of respect for the New York Post. What they've done is incredible. So I'm not just running against Joe Biden. I'm running against the left-wing media, Silicon Valley, censors who want to manipulate and control the American people. No, it's unbelievable. And if you say anything bad about Biden, they block you. They take you down. Or they make it so you can't go on any of these sites, Twitter or any of them. It's unbelievable. Some high-quality people. They put up a story from the New York Post, fourth largest newspaper in the country, and the oldest by far, founded by Alexander Hamilton. Somebody puts up a story about this Biden corruption, which is incredible, and they block the story and take down his site. It's unbelievable. The great Charlie Kirk. But many of them. With your vote, we will continue to fight for American workers, lower drug prices. We are bringing drug prices down, way down. It's already happened. Support our great police, protect the Second Amendment, defend our borders, and ensure more products are proudly stamped with that very beautiful phrase, made in the USA, like the old days, right? We go back to the old days sometimes, made in the USA. People used to be so proud of that. We are again. We will deliver record prosperity, epic job growth, groundbreaking therapies. The therapies are unbelievable. By the way, here I am. Now, I don't know, maybe I didn't need it. Maybe I didn't need it, but I'm happy I took that Regeneron. Superman. And a safe vaccine, and we have many of our greatest companies and labs are coming out very quickly with the vaccines. They're doing great, very shortly, very quickly. It's going to be delivered fast. that will quickly end the pandemic. It's ending anyway. We're rounding the turn, but the vaccine will get it down fast. Because we want normal life to resume. Normal life. We just want normal. Normal life. Normal life. And next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. You know, last year, New Hampshire had by far the best year economically that you've ever had. And I can say that for, I think, every state in the union. I really think just about. I don't have to go check. I don't have to be like Joe where he has no idea, you know. You just say, no, it's uniform. I think just about every state in the union. And you see what's happening now. We have a super V. We're recovering at a level. Housing starts. The Atlanta Fed just predicted. Now, this is not a forecast by me. This is the Atlanta Fed. That GDP has risen, will rise for the third quarter, which will end, by the way, it'll be, I think the number will be produced on November 1st, which is just before, but hopefully you'll have voted by that time. That's the crazy thing. Everybody will have voted before some of this incredible news comes in, but the news has been very good anyway. They're predicting GDP up 35%. Nobody's ever had that, right? I think 8%, I don't know what the record is, but like 8 or 9 or something maybe is a record, but this is 35% up, faster than any other country anywhere in the world. We went down less, and we've gone up faster. So within my first year in office, I delivered the largest tax cuts and reform in the history of our country. We cut taxes $2,200 a year, so that's for the typical American family. We doubled the child tax credit, $1,000 a child, and we increased median household income to the highest levels ever recorded. Highest. Then we had to close it up, save millions of lives, at least 2 million lives, and now we're opening it up. The radical Biden-Harris agenda, what do you think of Harris? Oh, boy. More liberal than Crazy Bernie. Can you believe it? So you have Crazy Bernie. He's crazy, there's no question. But he's a good sport. He's a great sport. No. Have you ever seen anybody lose so much and be so happy about it? It's happened now twice. Is Bernie running again in 4 years? Media, is Bernie Sanders projected to run again in 4 years? I think so. He'll be up there. One thing about him, he fights. Yeah. You know, he fights, but he somehow doesn't mind losing because Elizabeth Warren, a neighbor of yours, no. Elizabeth Warren, super radical left, not as bad as Bernie, and by the way, not even close to Kamala. But if she would have, and you know, I say it all the time, if she would have left, because she was gone. If she would have left before Super Tuesday, Bernie would have won every single state. That Sleepy Joe, he was shocked when he won. They said, Joe, you won. What? I did? How? What happened? Well, Elizabeth Warren stayed in the race, Joe. So when people voted, they split the vote. So Bernie Sanders would have gotten all of it. He didn't have to get all. If he got just a few of her votes, he would have won everything. I mean, literally, but he would have gotten almost all of them. He said, oh, okay. Explain, how does that work? I said, forget it, Joe. He wanted to know how that worked. The radical Biden-Harris agenda is projected to slash the typical American's income, and you saw this in the Wall Street Journal, income by $6,500 a year over a short period of time. And also, it will destroy at least 5 million jobs. Joe Biden is promising the largest tax hike in American history. This is the first time, I said it last night, we were in Ohio, we were in Wisconsin, we were in North Carolina. I'm doing 3 or 4 of these suckers a day. That's not bad. Right? And he's got the lid on everything. I said, where is he campaigning? Sir, he's decided you can't have a president in this world where you have President Xi, President Putin, Kim Jong-un, and lots of people. You cannot have a low-energy president. Now, there's a reason he's got the lid, and I'm trying to figure it out. And I have a feeling it's because of the corruption, because he can't have. Did you see where he walked out in prime time right after it happened, holding ice cream, right? And the press asked him, "What flavor is it, sir? What flavor?" I think it's vanilla and chocolate. That was the question. They don't ask me questions like that. What flavor, sir? I don't think he likes me too much. We better win. No, he's not a nice guy. He's not. No, people that knew him in prime time, he was never a nice guy.